Thank you for taking the time to watch the Escalera video brochure. This video is organized in 5 parts. Part number 1 was our introduction showing the Escalera climbing various types of steps. Part number 2 shows Escaleras moving various loads, appliances, wood stoves and inserts, vending machines, copiers, safes, and other loads. Part number 3 explains in detail the design principles of the Escalera. Using close-ups, graphics, charts, and an X-ray view, we will answer most of the common questions people have about the Escalera hand truck. Part number 4 shows the various Escalera models and the options available for those models. Part number 5 shows the accessories available for the Escalera. This is the Escalera model MS66. Notice how it lifts the wheel up, over the edge and sets it down, and the other lifting feet come around, find the step, again lifts the big wheel up, over the edge and sets it down. The Escalera can be used to climb thresholds also. This is the Escalera model MLA-HC moving a cast iron wood stove. The winch is hand operated and has a double reduction with an automatic brake. The rear mounted swivel casters allow me to move it in the upright position, and in fact you can turn on its own radius. They're very maneuverable. I'll go ahead and lower the wood stove down now. The reason I'm doing this is that when we go to climb the steps, we want the stove in the ideal height for the best balance point above the lifting feet so that the center of gravity is correct. The unit has a 12-foot long security strap. You simply bring it out around the stove, put the buckle right at the side, latch the other part of the buckle, push down the locking pin, and then you can cinch the belt up very tightly. I've used a piece of plywood at the back of the wood stove to protect the porcelain finish. A very popular accessory that we have is the big wheel attachment. It's used for rolling across gravel driveways or wet lawns. It simply has hooks which attach on the bottom of the hand truck, and then a latch which hooks on the top. You can also use it for breaking the load back by standing on a 3/4 inch axle. When you're tilted back, the unit balances on all 4 wheels, or if you want, you can put it up on the 2 wheels to turn. When we get ready to go up the steps, we have to take off the big wheel attachment. So we reach down with our foot, unlatch it, let's kick it out of the way. Go ahead and roll the stove forward. Hook it up to the flue. Set it down. The Escalera can unload a semi-trailer up to 54 inches high. It's very maneuverable. It's easy to roll in an upright position even with a heavy load. The hand crank's very easy to operate. As a general rule, you only need the electric winch if you're going to be unloading a lot of things out of a semi all at one time. Typically, people will load the load into the truck and just slide the Escalera into it next to their load. Folding up the retractable load support, rolling to the step. Notice that it stays about the same angle as when it was rolling along on the ground. If we stop it with the freeze frame right here, you'll notice that the center of gravity goes right up to the lifting feet. The load is balanced nicely, and the angle stays the same as when you'd roll it down a sidewalk, so it's very comfortable. There's plenty of room to stand there. The operator is not forced to move the truck up and down in a teeter-totter effect. It just simply climbs the step just like a normal hand truck would. With this view, you can see on the right and left sides the glide belts which protect the step. The dual lifting cams lift the big wheels over and set them down gently, and then they come around and go up the next step. Going down, it's just the opposite. Cams lift the wheels up over the edge, and you're on your way down. Again, the glide belts contact the step and protect it. The retractable load support can be folded back without bending down or letting go of the load, and will support it fully. This snack machine is going to climb a Teflon step. Teflon is the slipperiest substance made by man. Notice how the lifting feet go well within the aluminum extrusion that is protecting the front of this step. And on a carpeted step, even with a deep pad and a thick carpet, the lifting feet grab well within the edge of the step. Roll up to the stand, lock the floor lock, raise the forks, to just below the level of the stand, and slide the copier off. Onto the pallet. Unlock the floor brake. And pull away. Lift the load up. Roll the hand truck forward. Set the load down. And unlatch the copier pallet from the hand truck. This allows you to bring the hand truck back. We'll have to lower the forks all the way so that we can stow the hand truck underneath the copier pallet on its back. Slide the copier pallet in a little further. Turn the hand truck around. And slide it in. The safe has been lifted up so that it's in a nice balance point with this load, similarly to the cast iron wood stove we saw earlier. To illustrate the extreme maneuverability of the Escalera, we'll go inside an FAA control tower. This is a special lift we build for moving the Raytheon digital monitors up into the control rooms. It has slightly narrower profile than our normal units and shorter forks, designed specifically for going up the spiral stairs in these towers. As a general rule, with the normal Escalera, you can go anywhere that a non-power dolly will go. Because the Escalera is so versatile and does so many jobs, I call it the Swiss Army knife of hand trucks. You can climb up steps, and you can climb down steps. You can roll on rough terrain with the big wheel attachment, install inserts into the hearth by adjusting the height of the forks to the level of the hearth, unload semi-trailers up to 54 inches high, unload your pickup truck or van, load your pickup truck or van, and stack pallets in your warehouse. This section of the video explains in detail the design principles of the Escalera and answers most of the common questions people have about our products. The stair climbing mechanism on the Escalera automatically adjusts for different heights of steps. You can climb all the way up to a 10-inch high curb or all the way down to a 1/4-inch high threshold. The operator doesn't have to make this adjustment. It's interesting to note that the Escalera climbs a tall step at the same speed that it climbs a short step. That's because the lifting cams on the Escalera have to come around until they find a short step. Besides climbing thresholds, you can also climb a large crack in a sidewalk. Again, it lifts the wheel up and hops it over the edge. This is a dissolve from a square edge step to a round edge step. Again, the Escalera automatically adjusts for round edges on the step by rolling forward, bringing the lifting cams in further. The more curved the step, the further in the Escalera moves. Notice that the Escalera's 6-inch wheels don't touch the edge of the step. However, we can roll a non-power dolly by and you'll see that it goes all the way to the edge. Non-power dollies also tend to bang on the steps as they roll down. The Escalera lands very gently on the step as it goes down. The lifting cams on the Escalera automatically lift the large 6-inch wheels up and over the edge. On the way back up the step, they also lift the wheels up over the edge and set the wheels down exactly in the same place as they were when it went down the other direction. The operating instructions on the Escalera are located on a decal on the cross member. Simply roll the hand truck until the V-belts touch the step, bring the lifting feet around, touch the step, tilt the unit forward, and then turn on the switch in the up direction. To go down, you turn the switch in the opposite direction. However, you must place the wheel the same place it landed on your way up. Again, it lifts the wheels up over the edge and you're on your way down. With the Escalera, you don't need Bruno and Moose to help you do the lifting. That's why it's a tremendous labor-saving device. This chart shows on the left the labor savings, and on the lower line of the chart the investment cost. Once you reach your break-even point, you can actually earn profit with your Escalera, and the machine will pay for itself many times over. However, a lot of people just call the Escalera a back saver. On the left is your backbone, and on the right is the Escalera backbone, dual 3,000-pound test lifting chain. This is the cutaway view. First we see the glide belt, the inside of the glide belt, and then the gearbox. The gearbox on the Escalera is very efficient. The first reduction is a 6-inch pulley, going to an 82 spur gear, and finally to a 27-tooth sprocket. 200-to-1 gear ratio with only 3 reductions, beginning with a 0.5 horsepower permanent magnet motor. On a full stairway with the Escalera, the operator has plenty of room to stand in a comfortable position. The weight on the Escalera is distributed perfectly. The balance point goes directly through the center of the load with the fulcrum point down at the lifting feet. On a short, heavy load like a safe, you can achieve the same perfect balance by raising the load up on the forks. Again, your center of gravity goes directly through the load with your fulcrum point down at the lifting feet. The Escalera has a single control switch. You move it in one direction to go up and the other direction to go down. The switch is spring-loaded with the center position automatically off. The wire travels down along the side frame to the automatic resetting circuit breaker. Should you overload your Escalera, the circuit breaker will automatically reset itself. The standard battery included with the Escalera is a 17 ampere-hour battery. It is sealed, leak-proof battery which can be laid in any position, and it can be shipped UPS. This chart shows a relationship between the number of steps climbed up and back down again and the battery voltage on the Escalera. Notice that after you've climbed about 78 steps all the way up and all the way back down, the voltage begins to drop. It drops very gently, losing about 1 volt per flight of steps. As the battery voltage drops, the Escalera climbs slower and slower, and this gives the operator a good warning that he needs to recharge his battery. Because of the energy-efficient gearbox on the Escalera, even with a totally dead battery, although you may not have enough power to climb all the way up the stairway, you will always have enough power to climb back down the stairway. This chart shows the relationship between the depth that you discharge the battery and the number of charge cycles or years that the battery will last. As a general rule with the Escalera, if you drain the battery down to 30% of its charge and then recharge it, you'll get up to 1,000 to 1,200 charge cycles. Another way to think of this is a rule of thumb. If you climb up and back down 30 steps and then recharge your battery, it'll last a long time. However, if you climb all the way up and down 75 to 100 steps, you're deeply discharging your battery, so you're only going to get, if you consistently do that, you're only going to get from 200 to 400 charge cycles. So that's the difference between the battery lasting 12 months to 18 months and it lasting 3 or 4 years. The Escalera comes with a 2-amp automatic charger. We recommend that you always keep your battery fully charged. An overnight charge is adequate to fully recharge your battery. For those few customers who do need a spare battery, it's very easy to replace the battery with the spare. There's just 2 S-hooks to hold the battery in place, and 2 quick disconnectors for the electrical power. The stair climbing gearbox is very efficient. This X-ray view of the gearbox shows that with only 3 reductions, we achieve a 200-to-1 gear ratio. We use hardened gears and ball bearings throughout. Everything that touches the steps with the Escalera is soft rubber. We have rubber wheels, rubber V-belt glide belts, and soft polyurethane lifting feet. The V-belts maintain contact with the step. Although they do no lifting, they prevent the Escalera from scratching the steps. The dual lifting feet on the Escalera stair climber put the same amount of pressure on the steps as the large 6-inch wheels do. This is because they're the same width as the wheels and have the same amount of surface area. It's interesting to note that some of the older Escaleras only had a single lifting foot in the middle rather than the 2 that we have now. The reason we changed is so that the operator wouldn't have to balance the load in a sideways direction. However, there are still a lot of these older units still in use, and they work fine with no damage to the steps. Another thing to notice with the Escalera is that as it climbs the steps, it never touches the edge of the step. As you can see in this view where we've dissolved away the wheel, notice how the Escalera lifts the load up and over the edge, never actually touching the edge. Whereas with a normal non-powered hand truck, the 6-inch wheels would roll all the way to the edge of the step. This is why you never hear of an Escalera breaking the edge of a step off, because it never touches the edge of a step. Because the lifting feet on the Escalera push straight down on the step with a vertical thrust, we can climb any type of step surface. You can climb waxed wood, wet tile, an icy curb, or in this extreme case, a 300-pound block of ice. This step has a Teflon cover. Teflon is the slipperiest substance made by man. Notice how the weight pushes down well within the edge of the step, and the wheel climbs up and over without touching the edge of the step. The angle of climb with the Escalera can be adjusted for getting into tight situations. If you have a tall load and you have a low ceiling, you can tilt the load down. However, as you can see here, if you need to have clearance behind your back, you can tilt the load forward. The Escalera will climb in a nearly upright position, or as you saw, in a lower position. The angle can be adjusted by the operator when necessary. We have 2 speeds of climb with the Escalera. The 700-pound model is very fast. It'll climb 1 step every 4 seconds. The 1,200-pound model is geared a little bit lower, and it climbs a step about every 6 seconds, or just about approximately 1 minute per flight. The Escalera uses a lightweight aluminum modular construction. However, all the moving parts are steel. All the parts on the Escalera are easily replaceable by the operator in the field, and we ship all parts orders the same day the order is received. The Escalera has numerous handholds down each side frame, as well as handles across the center of the unit. The unit has an extremely low center of gravity, so it's very light in your hands. As you can see, only 17 pounds tilted back. The Escalera is extremely narrow, like traditional non-power dollies, for getting into tight quarters. We use computer-aided design to design the parts for the Escalera, and we believe that form follows function. The Escaleras come in many different models and sizes. The 4 units to the left are 700-pound capacity. They're from 54 inches to 72 inches high. The 1,200-pound capacities are the next 2 units. They're in 66 and 72-inch heights. Our forklifts come in 4 different models. We have them with and without power options. The 700-pound models come in the 54, 60, 66, and 72-inch height. With the unit is included a sealed battery, an automatic charger, and 1 security strap. The 1,200-pound capacity units come in 2 sizes, 66 inches tall and 72 inches tall. They also include an automatic battery charger, a sealed battery, and 1 security strap. The stair climbing forklifts come in 4 different models: QLA HC, QLA EW, MLA HC, and MLA EW. Lifts are available without the stair climbing lift, with only glide belts to protect the steps. Or for stair climbing, you can have the 1,200-pound capacity stair climbing gearbox. They're available with a hand-operated winch or with a battery-operated winch for raising and lowering the forks. We also have it with removable forklift option. For loads that you don't need the forks, you can remove them. We have many different accessories that are available with the Escalera. One of our most popular accessories is the big wheel attachment. Years ago when we designed the Escalera, we'd ask people how they liked it, and they said, well, they climbed the steps fine, but they got stuck in the front yard. That's why we designed these pneumatic wheels for rolling across rough terrain. For going down long hallways on smoother surfaces with a very heavy load, we have the retractable load support. They're basically two carriage wheels which fold down and lock in place. And when you don't need them, you can simply kick them up and they'll lock in the upright position. For moving bulky loads or heavy machines that are on legs, we have the big toe plate attachment. It comes in a 28 and 32-inch width. The normal Escalera comes with one security strap in the middle position. However, you can have one in the lower position or the upper position, either factory installed or available as a kit. Swivel caster attachments for moving loads in a horizontal position where you're laying the hand truck down on its back. Barrel attachments used for moving cylinders, water heaters, or barrels. Height adjustable toe plates used for moving machines that are on legs where you can adjust the toe plate up underneath the body of the machine or it'll go all the way down on the normal toe plate. For the forklift models, we have a flat plate attachment which fits on. It's 24 inches by 28 inches in dimensions. It's removable. For moving tabletop copiers, we have the copier pallet attachment. If you have a pair of these, you can bring in the new copier on one pallet and take out the old one on another. The LH3 lift hitch is used to transport your Escalera forklift on the back of your delivery vehicle. It is designed to work with a standard 2-inch receiver. It can be used in multiple configurations to fit most pickup trucks and delivery vans. For customers who don't have a power tailgate lift, we have the portable aluminum steps. You just drill two 5/16 holes on the inside of your tailgate, and the pins fit right in. We make sizes from 21 inches to 40 inches tall. This happens to be a PS29, and basically my truck, if you measure from the ground to the height of the tailgate, is 27 inches. So the PS29 will work fine on that. For smaller trucks, we have the PS21. For half-ton pickups, PS29. For most 3/4 ton pickups, the PS34. For small delivery vans, the PS41. And for large delivery vans, the PS44. For full-size vans, the PBS34. For moving appliances, we recommend the model MS-66 with a big wheel attachment, one security strap in the lower position, and if you need the portable stairs, they're available also. For moving wood stoves and inserts, we recommend an MLA-HC or an MLA-EW with a big wheel attachment. For moving vending machines, we recommend a model MS-172 with a retractable load support, an extra security strap in the upper position, and possibly a big toe plate attachment. For moving console copiers and tabletop copiers, we recommend an RLA HC and a copier pallet and a big toe plate attachment. For moving safes, fire files, we recommend an RLA HC, a big wheel attachment, and possibly a retractable load support.
Before we had it, you know, sometimes it would take 3 guys to go out and do a job.
And before that, I had to take the machine up with just a regular hand truck.
You know, we had the ability now with the Escalera to send out 1 guy to go do a stair job.
If you didn't have the Escalera, you would need 4 men.
We had to use a regular old dolly. That was no fun.
But it's totally different from what I had before.
Without the Escalera, you're always in a strain.
But then after he showed me how to use it, it took a whole lot of strain off of me.
With the Escalera, makes it a lot simpler.
And it works a whole lot better than the regular hand truck itself.
It saves a lot of time.
We realized that, well, we need to take the Escalera.
It's user-friendly, I guess you could say.
It's not hard to learn to use it.
It was so simple to use that I didn't have any problems.
And what I like about mostly is it's light and easy to use.
The Escalera is very simple, very easy.
Something easy to move things around with.
Now you can just tilt the machine back on the big wheel, roll it right across there, and there's no damage to it.
We are able to roll it across rough surfaces without creating a problem for the machine.
The rubber wheels, or the big wheels, allow you to just motor right on across.
That big wheel unit is a very good feature.
The attachments makes it easy. The big toe plate attachment, it just makes it all very simple.
Has the stair walkers. We've got the extended forks on it, which is also a big benefit, especially for fireplace inserts.
When I get to a landing, it lands right on the wheels. It makes a very sharp turn. We can set it up real quick, and we start up right away on the next set of stairs.
It had the ability to do a pretty strong 90-degree turn.
We were able to make the turn without a problem.
It gives us full control at all times.
So it's going to be real good as far as in tight corners.
We've had a few things in some million-dollar homes that have had to go upstairs, and we've used the dolly successfully without damaging the carpets or the floors and leaving any marks, and customers were very satisfied.
One thing about the Escalera is the way that it walks up the stairs. It does not bump the machine.
So many times I used to injure my back.
It takes all the strain off your physical body.
It saved my back.
Less work for the back.
Had it not been for the Escalera, there would be some serious chiropractic visits.
But with the Escalera, there's no strain at all.
The chiropractor and I were on first-name basis before this hand truck.
In this workers' comp happy world, you need all the safety precautions you can get.
The Escalera is a lot better than the other lists.
So Escalera comes in real handy. I mean, it's a good product. I never had any problems with it. It worked great for me for what I was using it for.
We use the Escalera daily for delivering product, for unloading semis, for loading up pickups.
What I like about the Escalera, it has that big plate. It makes it real handy.
And safety-wise, there's no problem.
If I have to go upstairs, I go upstairs. If I got to go down, I go down.
Stair jobs, stair climbing, going over curbs, anything involved with stairs, the Escalera works real good.
And we have not had a problem with it.
Everybody in the industry has to have one or you're not in this business.
I'll tell you one thing, they do not wear out.
Then the Escalera will definitely do the job.
I mean, you could just move stuff anywhere with it.
Everybody wants one. Even though they don't even have stair jobs on their paperwork, they still want to carry the machine out.
You let the stair climber do all the work.
Like I say, the Escalera was doing all the work for you. All you're doing is just holding the machine.
The Escalera, it's pretty much just does everything on its own. You don't have to worry about weight. You don't have to do nothing, just sit back and let it go.
There's no job too small, too big for it. But it pretty much does all the work.
That the safest way and the most convenient way would be with an Escalera lift.
One claim on somebody hurting their back, having to go to a doctor or anything, that pays for the Escalera by itself.
It's a labor-saving device and back-saving device in this day of so many comp claims.
Without it, there's no way that we could lift them safely.
The Escalera is better, way better in safety reasons than the old one.
The safety there is less downtime from injuries.
It only takes less manpower to do the job now.
Because it makes a one-man operation out of it.
90% of the cases do the job all by myself. I wouldn't swap mine for 3 men.
It's a big labor saver.
Eliminates me paying workman's comp
unemployment wages. Saves me the expense of an extra man.
Well, it's like another man.
It saves money.
So we have had customers watch us with our Escalera lifting the stove on and off our truck.
And we usually gather a pretty good audience when we start it.
Say, hey, that's a pretty nifty little unit you got.
Best invention they've ever seen.
Everybody wants to see what it is.
Everywhere we go, people are amazed.
People can't believe it and they want to know where it comes from.
The customer is intrigued from the first moment they see them.
They never seen nothing like that.
We had to have the Escalera.
It's been the best thing that we've ever had.
I wouldn't work here if we didn't have it.
I couldn't work without mine.
Without it, I don't know what I would do.
Wheels, the whole thing, I'm lost without it.
And there's no way that we could get that business without this hand truck.
As if you don't got one, you need one.
It just does an excellent job.
But I can't think of any deliveries that would have been simpler, straightforward without the Escalera, and it makes them all possible.
The Escalera hand truck has been just invaluable.
In fact, it's the only dolly I got.
Some of the older buildings that we deliver to, they don't have elevators in them, so we're in desperate need of the Escalera.
I just think it's a wonderful little piece of gear. And
Stairs, it's great. Without that stair, the stepping application there, I'd be a dead man.
Just great for one-man deliveries.
If I was in business for my own, and if I did deliveries, it doesn't have to be electronic equipment. You can do sofas, refrigerators, anything else. I would have to have an Escalera in my equipment.